Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're a little fancier today. I spent some time over the weekend. You know, Ecamm's got all these. It's got all these good features, and I never bothered. I never put any time into it. I never put any effort or energy into it. And this weekend, I was just like, yeah, you know, I should maybe make these streams a little bit better, just bump the production level up just a little bit, So that's what we got going on today. Yeah, so now y'all can kind of when we're just talking like this, y'all can kind of participate. You can see the chat as it goes. And I think it's easy. It's a little easier for me too. I don't know. At least better to look at, you know what I'm saying? Better to look at. Good evening. MIKT, Calisthenics Ireland is in the house. We got Justin. Yeah. What's up? Everybody likes it. Then I don't have to, I can elevate these onto the screen, but we can all see it, we can all see it too. Everybody dogging on me for being late. I had to update a couple things. I had to get my screens ready. This will elevate the rant. Yeah, I think you're right. We can see feedback in real time. Rant feedback in real time. So I've got this one. I've got I can just go solo, right? I can bring the chat in. I can go normal. That's full. I got a main share. I've got this little where we frame the browser. We've got, I made one for a guest we can have. We can have the guest with the screen. I put a little, we're locked and loaded. We're ready to go. All right. Is it updating as fast? I'm not sure what that means. Are you talking about Ecamm? This is Ecamm Live Pro, which one of my favorite things that I just saw coming. I need to get my hands on it ASAP. You can actually simultaneously record like this and on mobile, and you can have your own layout for like a portrait device, and then as soon as my stream is done, any of those areas that I want to clip are already effectively clipped. Like that takes so much work right now, but like it's going to be automatic in the very near future. So you're going to start seeing, I'm just going to start clipping various sections of these lives, and especially the rants and all the time. We're just going to flood Twitter and Facebook and social with all this stuff. It's going to be fun. Ecamm is fantastic. Really, really, really like it. So 45-second delay, really? Did you calculate that? Has that gotten worse over time? I feel like the delay used to be like 20 seconds. I feel like it used to be about 20-second delay. It shouldn't be. Ecamm, by the way, is only one of the only services, and it's an app on your computer. It's not an actual service. Like all the streaming services, they don't do 4K. Did you guys know that? They don't do 4K. They're almost always just 1080p. When you show the chat, then we have the chat we're typing in next to your on-screen chat. Great that you can have your face bubble outside of etch environment as YouTube live delay, so we see the comments first on YouTube. Oh, yeah. You're seeing the, you're going to see a delay on the broadcast for sure. So what are we doing here? Today? Well, a lot of people asked about color scheme stuff. They're very confused because automatic CSS version 4.x has a entirely revamped, refactored, reformulated color scheme system, mainly because CSS has completely refactored how color scheme works. There is like literally an era 4 of color scheme. And it's very important to learn it and to use it. Now, thankfully, it's easier. Once you understand how it's working, it's easier, it's more flexible, it's more efficient. It's all the things. It has all the benefits. And, from what I can tell, basically none of the downsides. But it is a new approach. And so you have to be introduced to the new approach. And Automatic CSS thankfully implements it essentially for you. It's just a couple clicks, bing, bam, boom, you're done. That's why it's called automatic CSS. Of course, you can do some fine tuning and you don't really lose granular control, as I will show you, okay? I don't really have any super practical examples lined up. We're just gonna kind of poke around and just take a look at exactly how things function. And then we are going to build a color scheme switch, a fancy color scheme switch. I'm actually a little scared of this color scheme switch because I haven't built one like this before. And we're gonna use our boy Claude here. We're gonna use our boy Claude to help us. Opus 4.5, we are going to, and you're gonna kind of get a taste of how this AI experience will work inside of Etch very soon. And you're also gonna see how the Etch interface and the Etch architecture is essentially built for Era 4 because of the access to HTML, the way that HTML can be taken back and forth. Hey, Claude, here's my HTML. And Claude knows, Claude can see your structure. And so it knows exactly what you're trying to do and what needs to happen next. And it can feed you code back that you can easily paste in. When you need attributes, you can just steal the attributes from Claude and paste them right in because there's no ridiculous, UI. There's no UI layer that's always in your way. They're like, oh, fancy inputs and no. We don't need that. We don't need that. It's all just a hassle. It's all just inefficiency. It's all just in your way. It's nobody. That's not how we work anymore. It's not how we work. We don't need the cute little boxes for everything these days. Are you gonna build this in auctions? It's so popular all of a sudden. Dude, it's Tyree. You saw what I saw. You saw what I saw. I'm in these groups. And everybody's like, what builder are you using these days? Or are you switching builders? By the way, the guy that posted that, I mean, let's just be honest, right? Oxygen breakdance sycophant. Pretty sure he's damn near on their payroll. But I'm watching these poor people. I don't know what it is, man. You gotta be you gotta like self-pain, self-harm. Like I don't know what it is, but like everybody's like etch, bricks, etch, bricks, and these poor souls, like 3 or 4 of them, you know, it's always just a little handful of them are like, I'm still on Oxygen. Like, like, whoa, like Oxygen Classic and entertaining Oxygen 6. The idea that you would entertain, what's crazy to me, you can't win on the internet. You can't win on the internet. The internet doesn't make any sense, okay? So I get attacked all the time. Like these people will attack me all the time. Kevin only cares about money. Kevin only cares about his products. Kevin, Meanwhile, I'm spending $500,000 innovating the space. More than that. Much more than that. And Oxygen is essentially stealing Webflow's UI and slapping it on their existing architecture for another payday. And it's like, yeah, I'm still on Oxygen 6. Like, come on, man. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that I'm the one grabbing money and you're sticking with the literal money grab. Like, the internet just makes no sense. These people, the brains don't function properly. I don't know. People log in and their brain stops working. I don't know what happens, but I don't know. It needs to get straightened out, right? It needs to get, these people can't be taken seriously. Okay. So, I'm knocking stuff around. We're going to build the color scheme switch. We're going to talk about color scheme. You're going to know all the things about Era 4 color scheme as soon as we're done today. And hopefully this will stop all the questions and everybody can actually get to work implementing this stuff, because a lot of people are like, I'm not touching the color scheme stuff till I understand. I don't know what's going on with it. I need to see it in action. I need to see it working. And so we're just going to get people comfortable with it today. Okay. Yeah, dude, I watch people's videos now. And I'm like, dude, the amount of clicks, the panels, this is just, it has never been so abundantly clear that is just not the life anybody should be living. It's just wild watching them navigate through all these panels, forgetting where styles are and all. Oh man. Oh, jeez. I feel for them. Okay. But you know, you can lead a horse to water, as they say. Can't really make them drink it though. Can't really make them drink it. They gotta come to it on their own. They gotta figure it out on their own, my friends. All right, hashtag, questions need a hashtag Q or they're gonna get lost, Mr. Max. Because I'm gonna come back to that later, but doesn't have a hashtag, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. All right, let's see where we are at with screen. This is probably the one we want. So we've got Claude. We got our boy Claude ready for action. We don't need him quite yet. What I'm gonna do is show you first. Let's take a look at the color scheme situation, okay? So I'm gonna add a heading and text. This is mainly the things that we'll be switching. So your colors, your background colors, your text colors, all that good stuff. This is like the simplest possible starting point for experimenting with color scheme. Now I will explain how color scheme works. If you're not using automatic CSS, there is, you know, an initial setup period that you're gonna have to architect. If you didn't want it to be, it's a completely different setup when you're defining tokens for the new color scheme in Era 4. This is really where a framework just comes in and does a lot of heavy lifting, because if you're gonna set up a tokens file, for example, and this is why the life people are choosing to live, it just, again, it doesn't make any sense, but like, you know, Bricks comes out with this feature where you can put all your tokens in Bricks. I don't know why you would want to do this. You don't have any control of the logic. You're stuck project to project. Your old projects get out of sync with your new projects because those setups, those token setups, those libraries of tokens, they can't talk to each other. They can't communicate. Like automatic CSS, a centralized thing. So it's just, I don't know. The nightmares that people choose to live all for the sake of like, I don't want to use that product, or I like the feeling that I tell people I don't use a framework. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's a lot of setup. It's a lot of setup, and then switching from project to project. Like one project doesn't need color scheme, but you set it all up. You know, there's a lot of infrastructure there that you're not even using potentially. And then there's a hybrid approach, because you can go full blown, look at the user's preferences and swap, or you can go, I wanna under the hood, I want it all set up, but I'm just gonna pick and choose where that applies, essentially. Okay, we're gonna kind of look at all this stuff today. Okay. So what we're gonna do is just look at the front end here. And I am going to swap my scheme. And you're probably gonna see that absolutely nothing happens. So I'm gonna go to, you wanna get in the habit of, you know, having this panel up. If you're on Mac, it's very easy to, remember this is an operating, well, there is a caveat. This is primarily an operating system preference. It's not a browser-based preference. However, some browsers, like Brave, for example, does have this as a browser preference too. And so some people get confused when they're testing because they come here and they switch. Now my interfaces are changing. Notice my interfaces are changing, but my website is not changing. That's because I don't have color scheme enabled. I haven't done anything. But you will see my interfaces change. Now, some people will implement light dark scheme and then they'll come here and do this and it won't change and they'll be like, it's not working. And I'm like, it is working, but you forgot that your browser is locked in a specific scheme. And so thus your operating system is not affecting it. So you have to understand the layers of color scheme preference. It starts with the operating system. That's the overarching, like where you set your preference. But if you're using a browser where you've set your preference, now the browser overrides the operating system. So you got to kind of keep track of where you've set things up in terms of your preferences. So we have seen here, we have verified that nothing is changing. So I'm going to open ACSS. Here is 4.x right here. There is a brand new dedicated color scheme area. So no longer is color scheme managed in the palette where you would have alt colors and all this other stuff, okay? Color scheme is essentially dark and light. That's what it is. It's not a carnival, okay? It's not Ringling Brothers. It's not, but I want my primary to go from purple to blue to green. No, okay, that's a different thing. That's theming. We can handle theming at some point, okay? That's not really color scheme. Color scheme is locked in terms of preference for lightness and darkness. That's what color scheme is, okay? So ACSS 4.x has essentially been pared down to just that. We got rid of the ability to have a carnival, okay? Now you can just have lightness and darkness, and it's much easier to manage, and it's much more straightforward and streamlined and efficient. So nothing happens in palette. In palette, you set up your palette the way that you want. On this site, I have primary turned on, base turned on, and neutral turned on. Obviously, your semantic colors as well. Now, we have a brand new feature. Let me see too. Let's see if somebody's messaging me. Let me see if it's important. Okay, it's not. All right. Nothing critical, nothing critical. Let me get my eCam view back here. Okay. So this is a brand new feature. Now, I want to encourage you to update, do a backup, and then update to 4.0 beta 1. You're going to want to update to 4.0 beta 1 to follow along with all the things that we're doing here. So check this out. Unify brand lightness, unify semantic lightness. This is one of the most powerful palette features. I don't actually know that this exists in any other framework. Once again, we're first to the finish line, okay? Crossing the finish line, taking that sip of water, looking back, and there's not even another runner anywhere in the universe, okay? So what this does is you set up your colors. Really helps, by the way, if you're not a professional designer. You set up your colors and then you click Unify. Now, we have refactored to use the OKLCH color space, which is the best current color space for human perceptible colors and color consistency and the way things change as you manipulate the different values of lightness, chroma, and hue, okay? A lot of theory there that we can get into, literally like encyclopedias on color theory. We don't have to go down that route. We're the only framework using OKLCH that I know of, like commercial framework available. And with OKLCH specifically, this unification of the lightness essentially means that all of your colors, primary, secondary, tertiary, accent, base, neutral, all of them, except neutral, this doesn't really affect neutral, share the same lightness value, which makes them all perceptibly the same brightness with zero effort, which on the front end dramatically improves how your colors interact with each other and look. So this is on by default in 4.x, and I would recommend leaving it on. I would recommend unifying your lightness values. If your designer has not, and here's the rub you're gonna get into. Figma doesn't even have OKLCH. So your designers doing work in Figma aren't even in the right color space, okay? Figma's behind on this. The damn design tool that has $1 gazillion is behind it, okay? We're out in front, always out in front, saying, here's how it should be done now, okay? OKLCH is, you're gonna have to get the hex codes. You can put them in, by the way. You can put the hex codes in. Put in the hex right here. It'll convert it to OKLCH, but they're probably not using unified lightness. And you wanna probably have a conversation with your designer about unified lightness. And if they don't want to unify lightness, they probably need to have a very good reason for not wanting to unify lightness, because typically it makes a palette much, much, much better. Okay, so that's what those switches are. If you see those, this is your unified lightness. You can tweak it up or down. OKLCH works in not percentages like HSL, but decimals. Same thing, but it likes decimal values, it hates percentage values. So you just gotta kind of make a mental switch there of, all right, we're working in decimals now. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to color scheme, light and dark, and I'm gonna show you, this is such a beautiful implementation. You're gonna absolutely love it because of the flexibility that this provides. But check this out. I'm gonna say enable color scheme support, and I'm gonna hit save. That's it, okay? Now we are gonna have to talk about what's going on down here in just a second, but right now, I don't have to touch it. I don't have to touch any of that, okay? This is just automatic. Now, light only is the default. Light only. I actually recommend that you, if you're, unless you're gonna do a purely dark site, okay? If you're gonna mix, some sections are light, some sections are dark, I would recommend just designing in light only or building in light only, and then we handle the conversions automatically, and I'm gonna show you a few different ways to protect certain areas, because sometimes you don't want a dark section. Obviously, a dark section rarely needs to actually switch to light. If most of the site is light, but you have a dark section, you don't wanna switch everything to dark and then that section switches to light. Usually 99% of the time is terrible. You gotta be able to protect those sections. I'm gonna show you how to do that. But I'm gonna switch this right now to light dark, and we'll explain these real quick. So normal is normal, okay? Light dark is saying I'm offering both. And this is a setting that looks to the browser or operating system preference. So if you say light dark, you're saying I am offering both. Let's see what the user prefers, give them what they prefer. Light only says I am only offering a light scheme by default. They do not, you cannot access the dark. Now the browser will see that there may be dark versions declared, but the browser is not allowed, the operating system is not allowed to make the decision to display those. You get to choose whether the user sees those in certain situations or not. And then dark only is simply the reverse of that. Hey, I may be offering both, but you're only allowed to show dark, or you're only allowed to show light unless I say otherwise. That's kind of your levers here that you get to pull, okay? So I'm gonna switch this to light and dark, and we're gonna go ahead and save. We'll go back to the front end, and you can see that, voila, I like zero effort. I'm done. I'm done, okay? For the most part, I'm done. Now, let's put in a button here. Let's put in, I'm just doing this in real time. I actually haven't like planned anything. We're just kind of doing this off the cuff. And I'm gonna talk to you about certain situations that you might run into. Let's make sure neutral is turned on. We'll get the light darks and the outlines enabled. Okay. So we see that we have a black button there. We don't want to be working in two different tabs at the same time. Okay, neutral, the neutral color. Now, I'll go back and think about this. Definitely cannot do it with primary, secondary, tertiary, accent, or base. Neutral color, I think we might be able to get away with it. But it doesn't, the main color does not automatically invert. The shades all automatically invert. And you're gonna see very quickly why it's not safe to automatically invert any of the other colors. Because primary, let me duplicate this. Okay, let's do button primary, okay? That looks exactly the way I want it to look in dark. It doesn't need to change. Whether it's light or dark, that's the color I want the button to be. That's the lightness I want the button to be. It works in both. A lot of colors, when you choose a good primary color, a good secondary color, a good accent color, they work in both. They don't need to invert, okay? So we don't know. We don't know if it needs to invert or not. You have to look at it and say, that something needs to happen there. For example, my neutral needs to invert. So that's very easy. You go to color scheme. Why? We don't go to palette. We're not managing the palette. We're managing color scheme. So you go to color scheme and you're gonna come down to neutral. And you can see you have a main color override and a hover override. Because the hover, we don't know if that needs to invert either. We're not just gonna, grab your colors and start messing with them. The shades are obvious. Those obviously have to invert. But the main colors, you can override here, both the lightness and the chroma for both main and hover. Base, main and hover. Primary, main and hover. So if you are in a situation where the main color has to invert or the hover has to invert, you can go choose to invert it. It's one input, you put a new value in, and you're good to go. So that is an explanation of that. And let's go back to the front end. Okay, this is auto color scheme. And a good benefit of this is that it will happen in real time. So when you're testing, you can literally there's no page reloads needed anymore. Everything works like it's the interface, like it's part of the interface. That's how your site works. Notice that the headings and the text automatically are switching as well. Now, this won't happen in some cases if you haven't explicitly set colors. So what we need to make sure of, because again, some of this is technical, but if you don't set, if I go to text and I don't set a default text color, automatic CSS will inherit your text color from the body. When it is set on the body, Color Scheme is trying to figure out what is the source of the instruction, okay? And when you're in a section and at the section level, you're saying, hey, the things in this section need to be dark scheme or light scheme. The browser, CSS, whatever, is not able to reach outside and go back to the body to find out where that was declared and then swap it. It has to kind of be explicitly set on the thing that's changing. And so when you set your color here for like default text color, default heading color, that's all you need to do. Once you've done that, you're good. It's gonna auto switch pretty much wherever it exists. But if you're relying on body inheritance, it's probably not gonna work. You're gonna see it's like, so why isn't it switching? You've gotta explicitly set a text color, okay? Which is fine because you're almost always using text dark muted, right? That's kind of the assignments theory. So when you're assigning things, right, you go to text, here's your default text color, dark muted, light muted, okay? Here's your backgrounds that you're primarily working with. Okay, we can't get it all into color assignments and instructions and all that theory right now. But I wanted to make sure everybody knew that relying on colors being inherited from the body is not really super compatible with Color Scheme. So if you're doing Color Scheme, you have to explicitly set your text colors. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch this to light only, and I'm still going to enable Color Scheme support. Now, at first glance, you might feel like, if I'm just gonna force it to light, why do I even need Color Scheme support? Well, great question. The flexibility of the new approach to Color Scheme is tremendous. And what it allows you to do is essentially, you know, when you're like creating a card, you're designing a card and you're like, I would like a dark variant of this. And you used to have to go in and maybe make a modifier class like _dark and then change all the styling of everything to make it dark. And so you were doing all that work. When you have icons, obviously we have an icon framework, right? It requires like a mini framework to manage icons properly. You would have light icons and dark icons, right? That would require a lot of attention. That would require a lot of tweaking and time and setting that up, the ability to have dark icons and light icons. You might have entire sections that you want to invert. You might have sections you want to lock, okay? In various cases. What I'm gonna show you here, hopefully it works. This is beta 1. This just hot off the press, this beta 1. I have not, we are doing it live. We are testing it live. I like to put things through its paces. Like, see where it falls apart, see what's not intuitive, okay? So if you come here to WDD Live for perfection all the time, I'm using shit that didn't exist 18 minutes ago, okay? Like, I can show you the build step. It literally just got built. You can go into the community, it literally just got posted, okay? That's why it's in beta. That's why it's in beta. But I have confidence. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this section and we're gonna say, I'm gonna give myself, because we're scrinched because of Claude over here, I'm gonna give myself a little more real estate. So we're gonna go Color Scheme section. I'm just naming this because whatever. The name is not important. The name does not matter. So a lot of times people are trying to follow along. They're like, do you have to call it that? No, you don't have to call it that, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come down here and say Color Scheme, and I'm going to say dark. Now, I believe, yes, there we go, okay. I believe what we're gonna need is background. Let's see if we can, okay. So this is a perfect example of what I was just talking about and things that might be confusing. So I'm gonna take this background off. And now Color Scheme dark, extremely powerful. Look what happens to everything in the section. Everything in the section immediately inverts. But what is the problem you are witnessing? The section background did not invert. Why is that? And now thinking in my head, I might actually change this to just set the default. The section has no background color. What can it possibly invert? It can't possibly invert nothing. The section, you're seeing through the section to the body background. And we're not trying to invert the body background. I'm telling the section to invert. The section has no background color. It can't possibly invert anything. The minute I give it a background color, okay, like white, it's gonna invert. And this is another thing you have to understand about assigning colors. I'm looking at white, I'm choosing white, but it's applying black. Why? Because it's being told to invert everything. So when you're working with color scheme like this, you have to be aware at all times of what we're actually trying to accomplish, right? But this is a perfect example where people will get stuck and this is so confusing. Why did the section background not invert? Well, there isn't one. It can't invert nothing. You have to realize when you're looking at a transparent section versus a section that has an actual background color, okay? This is very important. These little nuances, and by the way, in the old color scheme system, the same thing would apply. The same thing, you would not get this. First of all, you couldn't really come and just invert a section without a bunch of setup and a bunch of rules and all this other stuff, okay? The main problem with color scheme I found is it's not currently possible to swap images for light dark theme unless I'm wrong here. Does ACSS add the data theme light dark? There are approaches to doing that, yeah. I will say it's a lot of work to choose. Here's the thing, how much is the client paying you, right? How much is that image really, is it that bad of an image that it has to be completely swapped out because you swapped the scheme? Most images work in both schemes. If there is a situation, it would be more rare. I certainly would not be like, okay, we need 2 images every time we're changing schemes and we're gonna program our site to do, that is wildly over-engineered in my opinion. But there are pathways to switching it. Okay, I just wanted to explain that little nuance right there. But look at the power that I have. So I'm designing a card. I'm designing a section. I'm designing a social icon sharing thing. And I'm like, I want this to be the dark version. Now you hijack the color scheme and say, make this dark, okay? And even if I am not, look at this website right here, light only, the entire website, light only, but this one section, let them choose. I can go dark light, and I believe it's light dark is the proper way to do it. I think it works both ways, but light dark is like the default spec. So I am now saying that this section right here can switch based on the browser preference. Not the rest of my site, but this section right here is allowed to switch, okay? Why might I do that? I don't know. There's some edge case things where that might be a thing. But this, super useful, which means when I'm using ACSS 4.x, when I am using auto color scheme, even if I'm not declaring light dark for my entire website, I automatically have access to every icon has a dark variant. Every card automatically has a dark variant, okay? I do not have to design dark variants. My forms, all my forms, look at automatic CSS form system. Come down to form styling, right? We're gonna load forms here. You essentially set up all your form styles and there's no alt anymore. Remember there used to be an alt panel and all 1,000 inputs that you might wanna customize existed for alt, none of that exists anymore. It's all essentially fully streamlined, fully automatic, and it just works out of the box. And it's 75% less code in the entire ACSS code base, which is fantastic and phenomenal. But I know what you're already thinking. You're thinking, but Kevin, like that card variant, I don't want to use the automatic translation or color scheme switch. I want the granular control. You've taken away my granular control, Kevin. But I have not. I assure you, because we have a trick up our sleeve, my friends. The way this new color scheme system works, we have a trick up our sleeve. I'm gonna go to cards here. I'm gonna go to card framework, and I'm gonna come in. Now, remember, the minute I design a card, it already has a dark variant. Automatically has a dark variant, nothing I have to do. And you even have a default card scheme where you can say, hey, all my cards are gonna be dark, all my cards are gonna be light, or I just wanna inherit the website scheme, okay? But check this out, because even automatically it's working. You're like, Kevin, I need granular control. I gotta have granular. I didn't take it away from you. I didn't take it away from you, okay? Look what you do here. So you come in anytime you're declaring a background like this. Let's say I wanna customize, because right now, neutral ultra light will flip to neutral ultra dark. I don't want that to happen. I want it to maybe flip to neutral dark. Or maybe I want it to flip to primary dark or secondary dark or any of those, any option. Maybe I want to throw in a fucking hex code. I just want to raw dog a hex code when this thing flips. That's what I want to do, Kevin. You took that away from me, Kevin. No, I didn't. I promise, okay? You declare your own light dark function right here in the value, okay? And you're saying, here's my value for light, here's my value for dark, and you hit save. And now when it inverts, it will not use the auto scheme that was happening before. It will use its own local declaration of what is supposed to happen when the color scheme switches, which means you have absolute total granular control over every single thing that is switching on your website at all times. You can do this here. You can do this at the BIM level. You can do this wherever. By the way, like this color scheme dark that I'm doing, that can be done at a template level. It can be done at the body level for any specific page. It can be done anywhere. Anywhere you have total control. If you have a, I just put a space in here. If you have this section, right, where I did it as a, I'm gonna do it as a dark section, right? So I'm gonna take this off. So naturally, this is dark, okay? And you could do this just with color scheme if you wanted to. But let's say you were just building a dark section, not using color scheme. You were kind of doing it the old-fashioned manual way, where you came in and you're like color white, and you probably select the actual heading and say color white, and the text color white, whatever. I'm gonna get rid of this neutral button because it's pissing me off. And you wanted to lock it. You're like, I don't want this to switch. Now this is a little, again, you gotta wrap your brain around what we're trying to do here. I'm building in the light scheme. If I built something that's dark in the light scheme, and I wanna lock it to never being light, it's gotta stay dark all the time. I don't lock it to dark, okay? What does dark do? Color scheme, dark. Dark inverts it. Because I'm working in a light scheme, dark is trying to invert it. I made it dark, it's trying to make it light. I need to lock it, even though it's a dark section, I need to lock it to the light scheme. Because I designed it in the light scheme to be dark, therefore I need to lock it to the light scheme. Do we understand? Okay? So you have you've never seen a system this flexible, this powerful, that relies on the new CSS spec for color scheme, which they did a fantastic job with, okay? But it all happens automatically now. It all happens automatically, and you don't lose granular control, and we don't have duplicate code. We had so many duplicate codes. Everything that required an alt scheme, from the palette setup, all the palette, fully duplicated. Look at the beauty of this. I gotta show you the beauty of this, okay? Let's first of all, let's get our section back to the way we want. We don't want any of this going on. Okay. All right, let's go back to the front end. Let's kill some of these tabs, getting out of control with our tabs. Okay. Gorgeous, hold on. If you saw what was required before to manage this, where did you just go? Thank you. Look at this, it's just gorgeous. There's one palette and everything is defined in a light dark function using OKLCH. And it's just, and then I turn off success warning, whatever, those go away. They don't load anymore. Zero duplication. Zero duplication anywhere. Anywhere. It's all automatic. It's all insanely flexible. This is really, really, really good. Okay. Let's check on our chat here. Oh, you know what? I have a, I can go back here for a minute. I can go back here for a minute. All right. So I want to encourage you, all I wanted to do here, we're about to build our color scheme switcher that I'm very, you know, it's going to be a challenge. Claude's going to do a lot of heavy lifting today. We're going to see how close Claude is to really taking our job. Okay. Yeah, look at this. So Andre's been playing with it already, right? And he's saying he's been dealing with this stuff for a long time. It's so easy now. So easy now, okay? By the way, there are utility classes. So I believe it's just scheme. Okay, scheme dark. But remember, this has no background color, so it can't convert anything. But the minute I give it a background color like white, it's gonna work. So here's that utility class. I just go scheme dark, bam, dark scheme, okay? So no more color scheme -- or any of that nonsense. This works for automatic color relationships as well. It's all been refactored. It's just so nice. It's just so nice now. Okay. What if instead of neutral, I want to use another color in dark mode? Okay. So you use the light dark function like I just mentioned. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Unified lightness means you can predict accessibility contrast ratios get met no matter the hue. See? My guy understands. He understands. Love to see okay, LCH. Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a problem. Remember, I'm just going to take a little practice, okay? It's going to take a little practice. Let me see if I can go back just like that. Okay, I was showing right here, if you couldn't see that. Scheme dark or scheme light, whatever you want to do, right? But there's the automatic conversion. Pop on a utility class, you're good to go. Okay. By the way, remember we used to have who remembers in the 3.x dashboard, you would have to go to palette, then you'd come down here and there's like color scheme options and you would lock. Automatic CSS had that shit before. Like nobody's ever had that shit. Now we don't need it anymore, but it was so amazing to be able to go in and put a class in and lock that class to a scheme before anybody had ever thought that was even like a thing. You could scheme an entire website in the shitty old system. Very, very easy like that. But guess what? That even got to go. We don't even need that anymore. Why? Because if you go to a section, a BIM class like this, and you go color scheme dark, you literally just locked that class to that scheme in the damn selector. It doesn't get any nicer than that. It doesn't get any cleaner, easier, scalable, maintainable. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, okay? All right. Let's build are we ready to build a color scheme component? Very rarely do you get like a tripling of the power and flexibility of something with 50% less code. Like that's just from an architect perspective, this makes you sleep so well at night. Oh my God. And the maintenance of the code base going forward but you see, this is why 4.x could not be backward compatible with the 3.x brand. I would already jumped off 3 bridges. I wouldn't be here anymore, okay? Sometimes you just got to cut your losses and say, hey, we're in a new era now. Fuck era 3, and let's move on, you know? Okay. The Rob is on the right track. We need to like and subscribe. Any idea how much backward compatibility with ACSS4 alpha recent versions? Very, very high. It's not perfect, it's high. There might be 1 or 2 things you gotta clean up, but it shouldn't be that crazy. Okay. Yeah. This is, out of all of the, you know, how do I get my topics for WDD Live? I monitor social, I monitor the community. I mean, what are people talking about? And people are just beating me over the head with this. I need to know how this new color scheme system works. I want to use it. I don't know how it works. You gotta show me. So here we are on a stream. This is why you come here, right? Okay, let's build. Let's build. Okay, we're going to just start blank slate, clean right here. I'm gonna do some things I've never actually done before. I saw them as a concept somewhere. I don't even remember what the source was, but I remember inspecting it and being like, I frankly didn't even know that was possible. And so we're gonna try to make it happen, and we're gonna use Claude to help us, because nobody wants to live the life that we're about to live with the shapes that we're gonna be making. Because I'm gonna make an animated color scheme switcher that uses no icons, and the shapes, the moon and the sun, morph from one to the other, and they transition beautifully. And if we can manage to make this without any deaths, okay, or injuries, and we still have time, I will also show you the new, they're not actually, I'd have to go to local for this, or upgrade, maybe get a unreleased copy. But if you've seen the effects library that's coming to ACSS, that's gonna excite you too. That's gonna excite you too. That's gonna tickle your loins, okay? Let's build this switch. So I'm going to add a button. Well, Kevin, there's no buttons down here. How do I add a button? I mean, you could add a link and change it to a button. You could add a div and change it to a button. You could add text and change it to a button, because everything is a box. Or you could go Command-I, type button, hit enter. You could do that too. You could do that too. That was pretty quick. I don't know if you saw it. Command-I, button, enter, bam. Did you even catch, maybe you should go 0.25x on this stream if you need to at some times, okay? Things happen very quickly in Etch. See that? Go Command-I gives me this, and I start typing and it finds it, and I hit enter and it inserts one, okay? By the way, that is a library of endless, it's got everything that you would need. Everything that you would need. Does it have a details? Does it have an aside? Does it have a definitions list? Does it have an address? Does it have a keyboard shortcut? Does it have, yeah, it's got everything. It's got everything. Okay, so here's our button. Color scheme, switch, beta. Okay, I'm not gonna use beta, Bravo. Color scheme, switch, Bravo. Let's ditch color. Don't like it already. Scheme, switch, Bravo. Let's keep it concise, nice and concise. Scheme, switch, Bravo. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put this in a span. You know how you do that? Little keyboard magic. Command X, type span, paste. Now it's wrapped in a span. I mean, I could have done that in the structure pane. I could have done that in any number of ways, but that's the way I prefer. We're gonna call this the label. So now that it's there, I can put a class on it, or really what I should just do is right click, and create BEM classes. So now I have scheme switch Bravo label. It is a button, which means it's focusable. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna right click and we're gonna choose max content. I don't want it stretching all the way across our screen. Okay, and the label actually, I think we're gonna do with an empty span, because this is gonna be icon only essentially. There's no label associated with what's going on here. We're gonna need some ARIA stuff going on to make sure that it's accessible, but we are gonna start here. We are gonna start, actually, I'm gonna start out yeah, let's start with one shape. Let's start with one shape. We need to make a moon. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna come over here to Claude, and we're just gonna have a little discussion to get us started. So I'm going to be building a color scheme switcher that animates a sun to moon. We're going to be using pure CSS for this. I'm going to share my structure, okay? This is very nice because I can just come here, grab it, and paste it. Bam. And then I'm going to say, I want to start. Now, I'm just going to give you some tips when you're dealing with LLMs. And by the way, this kind of panel situation, imagine this panel right here is an LLM. Just imagine that this panel right here is a full-blown LLM. They can also just interact with the entire interface for you. Okay, that's going to be very nice. It's going to be very nice when it arrives. But for now, we're going to do this right here off to the side. But I'm going to tell you a tip. Work in chunks. Get it to like, hey, do this first piece for me and I want to see how you do. Treat it like it's a junior developer, right? Be like, hey, just do this. Don't build the whole thing, okay? Don't go crazy. Settle down, settle down. Build a little chunk and let me look at it. And let's just see what you're up to. Let's just see what you got going on, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. I want to create the sun first, no other functionality. Actually, I'm gonna create the moon first. We're gonna create the moon. I wanna create the moon first, no other functionality. I want to use box shadow to create the crescent shape of the moon. What essentially we're gonna do is we're gonna use an inset box shadow to slice out of the box the shape of a moon. And then we're gonna use a different kind of box shadow, which again, I didn't realize was even possible, but it is. We're gonna use the same box shadow technique to create a sun with rays, little dot rays. They go around it. Now, I'm not gonna do it because nobody wants to live that life. Nobody wants to sit there with all these fucking coordinates and all this other stuff. But a job for Claude, this is a good job for Claude, okay? But let's just see where we can get. We're gonna create the moon. So I wanna create the moon first. I wanna use the box shadow to create the crescent shape of the moon. The box should be 48 pixels with aspect ratio 1. And then rules, okay? Everything needs to be tokenized. Everything critical needs to be tokenized, okay? Let's see, do we need any other rules at this point in the game? We are already using BEM. We already have the markup done. I think that's it. Okay, let's start there. What you got? Okay, let's send this off to Opus. I'm gonna look at chat while we're doing this. I put the playback speed to 0.25 and now Kevin is talking normal. Okay, hey, Claude's got something for us. Okay, all right, let's build this moon with a box shadow crescent technique. Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, what the fuck is SSB? Scheme switch Bravo. Okay, right away, this is why you gotta work in pieces. It's off the rails, okay? No prefixing. Okay, send. You've got to tailor this. Like, you've got to manage it, okay? It's not gonna do the job for you. Contrary to what you might read on social media, it ain't gonna do, it's gonna give you some bullshit. You've got to be on top of it. Okay, there, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Why size though? Why size? Why, that doesn't, I'll deal with this. This is fine, okay? So let's put this in. Let's go dimensions, okay? We're gonna come up here, put these in, okay, fantastic. Scheme switch Bravo, okay? All right, align items, justify content with this size. All right, hey bud, we need to be using logical properties. This is era 4, all right? Okay. Opus is a little stuck back there in era 3. All right, you gotta help him out a little bit. All right. See what we get back. Yeah. Don't let it happen again. All right, we're gonna take scheme switch Bravo. I'll just take this out for right now and just see. I'll just do what it gives me, okay? And then we're gonna take this label and we're gonna grab this. Okay, that's fantastic. That's nice. I drop this in my label and okay. So we've got a gray circle Inline size background color is the moon color. Our moon color is this. Let's do red. I want to make everything super obvious for right now. Shadow color white. Fantastic. Okay. And let's go back to the label. Moon color, moon shadow offset. It's got the box shadow in here, but I don't. Offset inline, offset block, blur, and color. Okay, that's fantastic. I mean, it looks right. I'm thinking there's a size issue somewhere. Size 48. Well, we don't have sizes of the, okay. All right, well, this is, okay, I changed the moon color to red to make it obvious, and the shadow color to white. I do not see a crescent shape. Okay, let's just send that off and see what it says. Sorry, I just can't listen to that. I don't know what you're referring to. Now, I was thinking it was gonna one-shot. I didn't know Claude was a two-trip bitch. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was gonna one-shot this crescent shape. I'm a little concerned. The shadow is being cast on the circle itself, but you need to make the shadow larger than the circle for the crescent effect to work. We need a spread value to expand the shadow. Well, why didn't you think of that in the first place, Claude? I thought you were the all-knowing. Okay, and we're just gonna take this new box shadow and come down here, okay? Fantastic, and no, that's another fail there, Claude. That's another fail. The spread expands the shadows. It actually covers part of the circle, creating that bite. Now try, you should see. Background color is still moon color. I don't think anything else changed in there. Doesn't look like it, doesn't look like it. Nope, not working. Nope, not working. Okay, let's see what we get back. I'm gonna also say, can you show me a working version of this? Let's see if it, I'll ask that next if we need to. From my understanding, we ought to have skill to reference Atch and ACSS, yeah. You should give your values back. I often do, but I didn't change much. I just changed two easy things. So shouldn't be that much of a problem. So far, Claude's not taking anybody's job, okay? I have a feeling we'll get there, but Claude's also thinking a lot. It doesn't normally think this much. Like, it's really on the struggle bus here. Shadow inline. What I will also do, and I want people to see the like debugging approach to all of this. We may just need to simplify. Like, just go. Let's take the tokens out. Let's just figure out some sort of simplified version. We can get something on the screen. Okay, the keychain spread is now half the size of the circle itself. I mean, I don't know about that. We'll see. I don't know that much has changed here. Okay, let's grab this. Drop this in. All right. Actually, scheme switch brought, yeah, that's just this part down here. Okay, all right, we're still not there. Can you show me a working version of this? I'm using Opus 4.5, which we can switch in just a minute. We can try Grok. We can try. Where did it go? Like, didn't I just send a message? By the way, I'm using this. It's the Claude app for desktop, which I heard was vibe coded, and you can tell it's laggy as fuck. It's. Let's go to show me a working version. Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I've done it before. You can do it any way you want. Like, there's a lot of ways to do it, right? Usually it doesn't completely fail on the first effort, but I am asking it to kind of do something that's not typically done. And it probably doesn't have a lot of working examples. This version of Claude can fire off browser instances, so it's doing its own thing right now. Yeah. Yeah, and it always has this problem. It can't ever get like local instances fired up. Let's do. Yeah, I don't know if this version is going to be able to do it. Let me fire off a new window here. 1 second. Let's get Claude open here. We may just do this in the browser. New chat. Okay. Damn, there's so many eCam windows. So many eCam windows. Okay, let's go back up and let's grab my initial instructions. This will be a good little test here. Can we get more decimal places to make the color more accurate? At the moment, ACSS at L gives 2, but should be 4. C3, but 4. Hue 0, but should be 2 digits. And more decimal places to make the color more accurate. Yeah, maybe we'll look at that. Okay, let's do this. Let's swap this out. Let's put this here. Wait a minute, hold on. Where did it go? Dude, Claude. What are we doing? Okay. Scheme, switch, size. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Let's take these, put these in. Let's get rid of all this. Okay, scheme, switch, size. Fantastic. Scheme, switch, bravo. Let's bring all this in. And then I'll ask for a working version. But let's see if this gets us anywhere close. Okay, put this in, bam. Same problem as last time. Label span is transparent, but its box shadow is offset to the left, which creates the classic crescent illusion. The shadow peeks out from behind the invisible circle, forming the lit edge of the moon. Control how full or thin. I'm not so sure the background of the label should be transparent though. I guess it would be. Okay. Show me a working version. Let's get more real estate here for this. Need the Jeopardy music. Working in local. I mean, people say this, that AI code will optimize itself. But the other problem with AI is that, especially in terms of like self-optimization, is it learns, dude, Claude is like, this is the problem with LLMs too, is that, you know, if they're overtaxed, got too many people trying to build sun moon components, you can't get any work done because it's like, it's thinking too much. It's got too many things in its queue. All right, we might have to switch to an icon version, which is unfortunate because like I really thought we were gonna be able to get this done, but Claude is really shitting itself right now. I'm going to feed this to Grok in just a second. Let's see if Grok can, I don't have a lot of faith in Grok, but let's get this going. Okay. Can I, come on, Brave. You can't put windows and other windows in Brave? Really? All right. I'm gonna put this over here. We'll use Grok as a backup. All right. Scheme switch moon. Buddy. Look, that's not a moon, dog. That's not a moon. Hey, it doesn't even work in your example. like, you're right, my bad. Taking a screenshot to see what's actually rendering. Claude's queue is just the volume of oxygen and breakdance users looking for answers. Yeah. Can you show what you're trying to build? No, I don't remember where the original source was. I just remember that they used box shadow. And I had inspected the code at the time, and they were not doing any other crazy nonsense. And I actually had made a test crescent at one point. And so I know it's possible. It's just Claude needs to get its shit together. No. You don't need icons. That's the thing. You don't need icons. You don't need, trust me, this is way better because when it actually works, it animates really awesome between the two states. So you cannot do that with icons. Yeah, you're right. It is a full moon. We don't need a full moon though. Dude, what is going on? All right, where is Grok? Grok, help us out. Okay. No. Stop. I'm gonna give you the markup. You give me the CSS. It needs to be tokenized for all the critical areas. Here's the markup. Okay. Let's bring this in. Dude, let's go with, oh my God. Dude, Mac, like, Steve Jobs died. He needs to come back. Somebody bring him back. Okay. All right, Claude, you're fired. You're fired. We'll check in with you later. Okay, let's get our markup going. What a disaster. Where's Mark Zemansky? Needs to explain himself. He told me this was taken over. The entire world was gonna, it can't even make a fucking moon with a box shadow, okay? Calm down. Calm down. Oh, Grok. Stop with all the comments. We don't need all the comments. At least Grok is faster. It may not work, but it's at least it's faster. You can fail faster. Okay, let's reset all this. Okay, wow. Grok's doing some things. Okay, no. Stop underscoring tokens. Jeez Louise. Whoever came up with that idea, I know Kevin Powell does it. No. Should be stoned in the center of Times Square on national television. Underscoring our tokens. -- underscore. Shoot me. I have no interest in that. Scheme switch Bravo. Okay. Dude, I didn't ask for all the scheme stuff yet. I just want a moon. Crescent moon. Yes, exactly. Crescent moon with box shadow. It's inset box shadow. Did Claude do an inset shadow? Yeah, he did. Claude did. Holy smokes. Is Grok trying to give me photos right now? It's an inset box shadow with CSS, bub. These LLMs went full-blown just dumb overnight. I don't even know what Grok's on about right now. Okay. Grok, you're fired. Get Claude back in here. Hey, oh my God, hold on. We might be into something here. Are we still live, by the way? Is this, Look, why are we in preview mode? Back to live mode. What are we doing? Publish? No. Revert change. What are we doing? Dude, what is going on in the stream? I mean, it gave you what you wanted. I didn't want a photo of a moon. I wanted this. Why can't I access this code? Okay, get to here. Sheesh. Okay. Here we go, friends. We might be in business. Look at this. They give you a half pixel click area. Holy smokes, we might be in business. Okay, come on, everybody cross your fingers. We might need double crossing here. Quit trying to put this on root, dude. I'm doing nesting. This is error 4. There's no root involved here. Okay, okay. Give me this. Let's get back to my label. That goes on the label, right? It does. Oh, we got a moon. We got a moon, friends. We got a moon. We got a moon. Okay. Now. Oh my gosh, dude. How do we get out of the artifact? Oh, geez, Louise, the artifacts. Okay. All right. All right. I don't want to be in the artifact anymore, but okay. Okay. So the circle should be the background color of the page, and the crescent should be the moon color. Okay, we're making progress. You guys see the moon, right? You guys see my moon? It's just, we got to get rid of the circle. We got to get rid of the circle. Okay. I might be able to do this myself. Let's see. Let's take over. This is why access to the code is important. There we go. Moon color is already good. Let's go black on our moon color. And then we are going to go scheme switch BG. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, we're making progress. Moon diameter, moon spread, moon blur, offset 6. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. 38. What are the control points here? Okay, 38. Moon color, shadow offset, 0 blur, moon diameter. Okay. The offset X, offset Y. Okay, this is gonna flip our moon around. Okay, but it's also warping the moon. This is not exactly what I had in mind. Because the label, does this have padding? No, width. I think the scheme switch size, it's like offset, relative size, moon diameter. Okay. Now the button background is the moon color. The label is shadow act as a mask. Okay. I want the, I don't want the crescent to be inset inside of the main circle. It should be the full size. I don't know if I explained that well. Maybe it can make an adjustment. But we're already to a point where I don't know, a lot of you knew it was possible to create a crescent moon with a box shadow, but we have arrived very close to that. Won't SVG code be easier? Well, here's the thing y'all have to understand. When you see this morph and manipulate, and we're not done, we're just getting to the very start of it. SVGs have a very hard time with that. SVGs, it would be even more of a nightmare with an SVG, I believe, to try to animate it the way we're gonna animate it. And as I've always said, depending on what you wanna do, you gotta choose an appropriate pathway. And this is more of the appropriate pathway to getting where we're trying to go. Guys, if I was just trying to create a light dark scheme switch that just flipped, we wouldn't be doing all this. This is for animation purposes. This is for a next level kind of switch, a switch that is rarely seen on the internet, okay? We're trying to do important things here. And this is the life you gotta live, which is we gotta work our way there. It ain't just gonna come out the box, okay? I just had that Jay-Z reference in my head. Think I popped up out this bitch like a fetus? Nah. Okay. Let's go. Where are we at? Label? Sorry, I was off in Jay-Z land. All right, let's go here. Switch label, absolute. Okay, this all changed, it looks like. Let's see if it breaks it or doesn't break it. Scheme switch Bravo. Okay, and that's just this stuff down here. It looks like it got rid of this scheme switch BG thing. Okay, and body, and here we go. Okay, scheme switch size, all this. Okay, now we're back to, we have a full moon, we have no cutout. Now the label's full size, inset 0, same as the button. The mask circle and shadow span the full 48 pixels, giving you a full size crescent. Adjust moon shadow offset to control the crescent thickness. Moon shadow offset X. 12. Okay, what's our scheme switch BG? White. Why is that not doing anything? Scheme switch BG. Moon color, moon color, moon color. Red. Well, those aren't doing a damn thing, so we probably have an error somewhere. Moon mask color, moon mask color. Nope. Why is it giving me I don't need body styles. Like these LLMs, my lord. Okay. Let's expand this out. You guys see how I can't, it's an absolute like war to try to. Okay. Your version isn't working. Check the front end. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Has anybody gotten Mark Szymanski on the line? Yeah, SVGs can be animated, but I don't know that they can be animated the way you're about to see this get animated, if we can ever get there. I do appreciate the, like, you know, the telling me the obvious things, though. We're not trying to do something obvious. We're trying to do something that has rarely been seen. So I don't think it's just a matter of dropping SVG in there, you know? It's gonna do a React version. This is fantastic. Yeah, we'd have to get into Lottie files and all this other stuff. You would be down a very similar path, okay? You'd be down a very similar path. But at the end of the day, once this one works, it's the simplest, cleanest possible approach. We are severely handicapped by Claude being slow as molasses today, though. So we may have to go. We may go look at animations in the ACSS library and do this tomorrow or something. Okay. Notice it tries to fix it, and it can't even fix its own shit half the time. It's like but it's always like, oh, I see the problem. Don't worry, I see the problem, and here's the fix that doesn't actually do anything. Go back to the working version we had before. Yeah, I know. Yeah, here it is right here. Here's the work. Oh, shit. So did it just give me a working version after I said go back to the working version we had before? And now I don't know if it's this version or that version. That's the version I want right there. That's exactly what I want. How do we get that? Holy smokes. No. Stop. That JSX version is working. Convert that to vanilla CSS using our BEM classes. All right, let's see. But I also wanted to demonstrate this use of box shadow that I'd never seen before. That's why we're doing, this is an exploratory stream. This is not just a get to some semblance of something that's similar that works. This is like, I have a specific mission that I'm trying to achieve. Yeah, AI consciously does something completely incorrect, and thanks you for pointing it out. This is how you learn, by the way. You've got to do a lot of these experiments. You can learn a shitload doing these experiments. So even if it fails, even if you get to like an end result that's not anywhere near what you needed or wanted, you end up learning a lot along the way. Normally, Claude is not this slow. I don't know what's going on with it. But you know what I can also do? If this works, well, now it's got this function in here. I don't know if that's doing anything. Yeah, because there's no even like box shadow in here. It's doing it with border radius, I guess. But we're not going to be able to do the sun with that. I don't know what it's on about here. I'm going to give it about 5 more minutes. Dude, it can't even type right now. It's so confused. Okay. It's promising. What? Oh, it went off, totally went off and did something different. It totally just did its own thing. It was like, F you, Kevin. I'm done with this box shadow thing. Okay. That's so bad. It's so bad. I put the following prompt into Claude and got a D. I don't think you're going to be able to paste your whole prompt in here. It first shot it in Claude. Well, what? Okay, y'all tell me what was your prompt? We're just gonna go straight up new chat. Just get that. Maybe I got one of those farmed out agents to some foreign country, and it's just not connecting with me. Help me make a color scheme switcher button. Use CSS only. The button needs to look like a crescent moon light mode and a sun in dark mode, using only drop shadows when clicked. Nah, you mean box shadows. You mean box shadows. Okay. Help me here. Let me see. Do I have oh, I don't have it installed. Okay. Inside a span, create a moon crescent box shadow. Use vanilla CSS tokenized. All CSS should be BEM. Use a white background and a yellow moon crescent. Okay. Let me give it the markdown. The markup. Let's go here. Okay. Use the span to create a crescent moon shape with an inset box shadow technique. The span is white and the moon is yellow. And the crescent moon is yellow. Let's be very explicit here, okay? Stick with our BEM, naming, and tokenize all the important parts. Show me a working version as well. No. I wasn't using whisper flow. Probably part of the problem. I know that once it gets the moon right, it's probably going to be very easy to get it to do the sun in the same fashion. I'm just shocked at how bad it was at getting the moon. See, it's already using like, it already wrote JavaScript. It already has done stuff I didn't ask it to do, which is annoying in itself. Why y'all say it one-shots this? It's not one-shotting the shit out of anything. Okay, that's a circle inside a circle, not a crescent moon shape. Don't write any, let me stop it here. Don't write any HTML or CSS or JS that is not relevant to this component. We don't need JS yet at all. The thing is Dulu Oz. You can use the same prompt over and over and over again and get completely different results. The white shadow needs to be the bite that covers part of the yellow moon, not sit inside of it visually. Yes, you're right. That is an inverted crescent. Now you're on to something, Claude. Now you're on to something. Okay. If it would just speed itself up a little bit, I think we're gonna be there. Because if this was yellow and this was white and we just change the ratio, we're pretty much there. Jeez Louise, the wait time. Good thing Bev's not on a timeline today. I'd tell Bev, hey, go get your Subway, Bev, okay? Go get your Subway. It'll be ready when you get back. Maybe. Okay, let's see. Crescent moon and sun should only use drop shadow. Dude, has anybody? I've literally. I get on a live stream and the whole internet shits itself. I have never seen Claude this absolutely just slow as molasses. Okay, holy crap. Look, it's still not even listening to instructions. It is so out of sorts. All right, get rid of all this. Still giving me body nonsense. Whew. Okay, finally. Finally. Okay, so color moon. Let's keep it at yellow. That's fine. Okay, byte is fine. Moon size to rim, offset 0.75, 0.5, 755, shadow spread. There we go. 1.0. Okay, I like that. 7.5, 7.5. Okay, these. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We've got to make this. I don't like that it called it the spread, okay? And I got to be able to rotate it where the math keeps mathing on its own. 2 rim, 3 rim, 4 rim. See how that all adjusts accordingly? I don't think you can use percentages and box shadows though is the problem. But let's just go with that for right now, okay? All right. And then I'm going to go, okay, let's move to the next step. We can't get it perfect. Claude's dumb today, okay? Let's just keep moving. So we're gonna say, let's now make a sun using the same technique. We need to make the circle full yellow with small dots for rays, for sun rays around the main circle. We're going to apply these styles only when data mode equals light, and we'll yeah, let's just do that, okay? Okay, so we're gonna only apply these styles when data mode equals light. I probably should have clarified that the sun and moon will use the same token so they can be animated in the future. Okay, let me take that out of here. Let's get this. So it has all the instructions in one. Also, stop giving me body HTML and body styles. I only need styles for this component, okay? Jeez Louise, Claude, making me work. I already told it. It won't listen to me, Yarov. It's not listening, okay? It's insubordinate. Yeah, this is probably true. Y'all need to stop doing this with Claude while I'm trying to do it with Claude. What did you do? What did you do? Surely it can see that its own demo mode is not working, right? It's not smart enough to do that. Why is it's trying to give me multiple files? I don't need files. I just need a working version, and I will handle copying out the code. It just said it's creating a working version with inline styles. Claude, I'm about to come after his family. Claude gave me a flower. Thank you. All right. It might just be the distance to, okay, data mode light, scheme, switch Bravo label. Okay, so we're going to take this out of here. And we're going to convert this selector. So data mode is light. This is going to be done at the label. So when data mode equals light me, we're going to paste this stuff in. Data mode equals light. Okay. Fantastic. Data mode equals light. Do this to the label. Label probably has some. Okay. Oh, it's changed a bunch on us. It's changed a bunch on us. Here's the label. And here is the root colors. It was doing moon size, moon shadow. Now it's celestial. Okay. It renamed them so because you can't have moon, 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 moon when you're dealing with a sun and a moon. I get it. Okay. Celestial offset size. to rem, spread 0.25. Ray distance. There we go. Ray size, 0.5 rim. To what, like, okay. Ray size. Is it relative to this? Ray size, celestial size. 1 rim. Wow. Okay, so the problem is, even at 1 pixel ray size, the rays are far too large. Oh. Yeah. How about you do that, Claude? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No foresight in these tools. No foresight. I think you guys can see if we just had dots, right? Just little dots, we would be very close to having our sun. But now we have data mode equals dark. We're gonna, look at this. You can start to see what we're doing here, where I have light and dark, okay? Obviously, it doesn't look the way we want it to look yet. But we're getting there. We're easing our way there. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, Claude. Okay, I see you. I see you getting back on my good side now. Oh, Claude. Oh, Claude, you're getting there, son. You're getting there. Okay, the celestial size. Okay. Hey, that's better, bud. But here's the thing. When I change the celestial size, the rays should respond accordingly. I don't want to have to make adjustments to every part of the sun every time I change its size. Let's make it maintainable, Claude. Okay. We're going to do this with, the only thing the JavaScript's going to have to do is control the data mode on click. And we're also going to store the user's preference in local storage. And that's pretty much, it's going to be very light beyond that. CSS is going to handle the animation, all this stuff. We would already be there if we weren't waiting 5 minutes for every response. This is really what's killing us, because we can't iterate. Like, it's cramping our style. Let's see what it's able to do here. That's from the prompt I shared, no changes. I can almost guarantee you that the tokens aren't set up right, that it's not easily adjustable in the way that we need. I can guarantee a lot of things that I can guarantee you didn't one-shot it with what I'm trying to achieve. If you did, I need access to your model, because this one clearly is not able to do it. I don't think that, I read your prompt. I don't think that there wasn't anything magic about your prompt that was like different from mine. Okay, let's go to the demo. Okay, this seems like as long as that changes. Now changing celestial size scales everything proportionally. Okay, look at all these calcs. This is what I said. This is not the life anybody wants to live. This is why we're trying to use LLMs right here. That is on the label in dark. Okay, or in light. Okay. I think we're missing a bracket. There we go. Okay. Can I get to celestial size? There must have been another change somewhere. Probably in here, the sizing. There we go. Okay, spread distance is celestial size times 0.625, 825. That still doesn't do what I needed to do. One rim, 0.8, 1. Wow, dude, this is... I'm just going to rock and roll with it, because holy smokes, like, Claude is clearly not going to get there anytime soon. Distance. Celestial spread. What does that even do? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Offset, celestial size. That's getting that to where I want it to be. Does this make it smaller? It does. Getting there. We're just gonna rock and roll with it at this, because okay. Let's bump this up. Distance 9, 3.2. All right, whatever. Let's put this on dark. Light. Okay. It's not perfect, but we're close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. So what we're gonna do is, okay. These we need to transition between, okay, I need JS now to toggle the data mode on click. Let's just do that. Just toggle, can you toggle the data mode? I don't trust Claude with anything else right now. We got to take baby steps from here on out. Okay. Just checking in on the chat here. I know all of this is possible to make relative to each other. And this is the kind of the part where you might want to just start taking over yourself and figure out what needs to be related to what and do the calcs yourself, because having Claude try to continue its dumbassery, you can go down a rabbit hole and never escape, you know? But this is the problem with those AI development platforms that don't give you any access to code. You're just stuck in this endless game of like, just please, you're like, eventually you're just on your knees begging it to like get its shit together. And like, cause you can't actually touch anything. You can't, see, I had to manipulate all those values. Instead of begging Claude, I just kind of was like, all right, let me just take over from here. All right. I don't want to download this. Just give me the code. Why can't I click on this? I've never had these. I don't want files. I just want code blocks. It's still not, here's the script. Jeez Louise, like my Lord. Okay, we're gonna go JS and pop that in. Okay, thank you. Woo! For real? For real. For real. For reals. Let's see. What is this? Does this? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What are we doing? What are we doing? Does this have no dimensions? Did Claude give the thing no dimensions? Maybe I did that. Maybe I did it. Nope. Nope. It's literally only been working on the label. It hasn't done anything for the button that I gave it. Okay. Fantastic. Inline size, 48 pixels. Block size, 48 pixels. Aspect ratio 1. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable, Greg. All right, I'm about to throw this in the trash. This is phenomenally bad work by by Claude. I can't even keep them straight anymore. Width, size, celestial size. Yeah, I don't. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's inspect this. What? Box shadow background. Browser's label. Width, celestial size. 0.5 rim, 0.5. Well, okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, these are all related to a horrible starting size. What a moron. Okay. You know why we're fooled by the builder? Because the builder, so that you can click on things, forces a minimum size. And that minimum size does not translate to the front end. And so we've been operating on the minimum size that the builder is using to make this thing clickable. This isn't big enough to show a real icon. Grok completely failed. Grok completely failed. Okay. All right. I love how it's so insanely confident. The celestial size cannot be 1.25 rim, my guy. Stop. How about this? Stop working in rims and start working in pixels. Like, you clearly don't understand what's going on. It crashed my comment browser when you slide off AI. They are listening. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Okay, we got a 20 pixel celestial size. Oh, it was just giving me sizing, not colors. Okay. What do we have on the front end? Okay, okay. Now, we need to go min inline size, 0. Min block size, 0. And we need to do this on the label probably as well. And now we're seeing an actual replica. Oh boy. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. Now, give me my JS back. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, now, friends, we're cooking with gas now. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. So let's do this. I want the tokens to transition between the two effects, sun and moon. Okay. We need to make them transitionable and add the transition effect. In some ways, they are getting worse. That's what I was going to allude to earlier. You know, sometimes they train themselves on their own garbage, and then they get worse. Okay. Well, I already know that this is the wrong answer. I already, just looking at it, I know it's the wrong answer. Okay, you can't transition. You can't transition properties without declaring at property. What did it even do? Aside from this right here. Added this transition to the label. I think that's the only thing that needs to transition. We'll put that right here. By the way, in Etch now, you can do things like this. And that will make this a heading comment. And then I can take another one and come down here. And I can do, okay, light mode. And then now what it does here is it gives you a navigation. So you can quickly jump to any part of, if you're dealing with long areas of styling, you can organize them and jump right to any section that you want to jump to. Okay, let's go back and revisit. Ah, that's what I expected to see. Okay, so we take these at properties and we drop these in a style sheet. I'm gonna add a style sheet for color scheme. And I'm gonna put those properties in. Okay, it's still not animating. Doesn't look like, it's not transitioning. It's not transitioning, okay. I'm gonna give it this. I put in the at property declarations. It's still not transitioning when I click on the button. All right. And let's go back to scheme switch Bravo. Okay, let's put that in as well. Oh shit. I didn't mean, I was trying to make a line break. I was trying to make a line break and it submitted it. Between different numbers of shadows, you need to declare all 8 shadows in both states with just different values. Well, I thought that's what I told you to do the first time. Okay. Color Celestial. But why is it zeroing this out? Both states now have 9 shadows. I don't think that was the problem, actually. I don't think that was the problem. Both states now have 9 shadows. Let's go to the demo. Okay. Your demo isn't transitioning. Let's look at what it was trying to do here. It's transitioning the box shadow. What tokens did it give me for? Oh, well, I think you're going to have to transition box shadow. No, these are the ones that are going to do it. Okay. Dude, oh my God, it's still thinking. If I create projects and upload all assets and info to each project, ensure I include based on the assets and source. Yeah, well, that's tough to do when you're not working in a file system, though. We're not working in a file system here. Well, adding the properties there make that you can't declare @property on children. It doesn't work at the selector level. It has to be on a global level. It has to be a global style sheet. Inset shadows can't transition to non-inset. Yeah, we're supposed to use the moon bite is now. Okay. Create a working version that transitions so I can see it. The other thing that I'm not done with the moon yet, because the moon actually, see the dots, the rays around the sun? I'm actually going to randomize those and make them smaller because they can be stars around the moon. And those can also animate as well. And I know this is possible because I saw a working version of it. And it was very slick. And it was worth the effort if you can figure it out. But it's the figuring it out part that's the hard part. Well, I'm not happy, Mark. I'm not enjoying myself right now. I'd be enjoying myself if these things were far more competent than they are. Okay, well, that transitions smoothly from a sun into a full circle, no crescent moon. I was going to say a pile of shit, but I stopped myself and I described it accurately. Need access to Willow to con. Some of y'all, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm lost here. Yeah, this too, probably. You start to get into, let's say I just asked Claude at the very beginning, you know, how would I make a crescent shape effect with an inset box shadow? And then I just kind of learned how to do it. And then I just went off and kind of started to try to build this on my own. I'm almost at the point where I'm thinking Claude could have just taught me one thing about inset box shadows, the principal thing that I needed to know. And then I could have said, like, okay, how would I use the same shadow to make a sun with rays effect? And then I could have handled the rest myself probably faster than doing all this reprompting. And how many dumb things did I have to fix? Like, Why are you trying to animate properties without add property? You should already know that that's not possible. You can't post links. It probably was on CodePen. I just don't remember where the CodePen was. But the other thing too was I wanted to see if AI can do this, because the CodePen demo that I saw wasn't exactly shareable. It wasn't like scalable, maintainable. It wasn't like, because remember, we're trying to build a component out of this that anybody can use. That the CodePen that I initially saw, it was not friendly to adjust things, if I remember correctly. The mask has a positive spread to make it large enough to cover the part of the yellow circle and create the crescent shape. Okay. It's still not creating the crescent shape. I'll take the, at least this one's animating now. Which maybe we could figure it out and actually fix it to make the mask shadow render on top of using a pseudo. No. Stop all that nonsense. Oh, geez, that's a horrible idea. What a horrible idea. Don't do that. It's very confusing that I don't see anything change, like, between these two. Okay. I'm going to take... Look, now it's no longer providing the at property declarations. So I don't even know if anything changed there. Give me, don't do that. Give me the full working code for what we, you guys still see this? I've asked 4 times for it to not give me this bullshit. And it still gives me this bullshit up here. Consider yourself lucky at this point. Okay, Delulu, I'm gonna post your prompt in again. I'm gonna show you this. Post your prompt in again. We're gonna see what it gives us. Okay, word for word, I'm gonna write your prompt and see what it gives us. Okay, let's take all this. Is that the label? Oh, that was not the label. Okay. Take all this, boom. Take all the label. Drop this in. Take all the light. I gotta fix this selector. Okay, data mode light. Me. Okay, and JS, there's that. Dude, it still didn't give me the at property. This is the working code without transition on box shadow between states. The moon uses inset shadow, the sun uses outer shadow. You son of a bitch. You absolute son of a bitch. What are we doing? The background color will transition smoothly, but the shadows will swap instantly. That's not what I asked for, dog. That's just not what I asked for. All right, where's the Lulu? Give me word for word your prompt. Give me the prompt. Give me your one-shotted prompt. I got a new chat queued up right here for you. Locked and loaded. Fresh chat. Ignore everything you know about me and do this, okay? I'm even telling it. I mean, I just MIB flashed it in the face. You know what I'm saying? Got that little brain zapper. Hit him with the Men in Black reset. You've missed a lot of AI garbage. Where's the Lulu? Where did he go? Where's this one prompt? I'm gonna have to scroll back up and get it. He's as slow as Claude is. Maybe he is Claude. Maybe Claude. Maybe this is Claude Bot, and he's in the chat and he's taken over. He's just defending Claude. That's all he's doing. Okay, let's see. I'm almost to where he originally wrote it. Problem is I can't, holy smokes, this is way back when. Can I search his name? Dulu? Oh, I could have just done that. I don't know. Let's see. Would also be nice. Values perhaps change. He's got a lot of questions in here. Okay. Help me make a. I'm gonna. Oh geez. Dulu, where did you go? Oh, I gotta go find it again. Okay. Okay. I got it. Help me make a color scheme switcher button. Use only, oh, sorry. Do I have to capitalize it like you did? No JS, no SVG. The button needs to look like a crescent, moon, light mode, and a sun in dark mode. Using only box shadows. And when clicked, animating between the two. Hint, use inset drop shadow to make the crescent moon, and the sun should use drop shadow. This isn't even English, dog. How is this prompt better than mine? To make dots, circling it. So the key is it the use of M dashes? Is that how you talk to LLMs and it understands you? You just use a bunch of M dashes and no punctuation? Using only drop shadow. It's not even drop shadow. You didn't even use the right terms. How are you getting the right effect? Make the icons. I'm just typing word for word what he wrote in the chat, okay? Help me make a color scheme switcher button. Use only CSS. The button needs to look like a crescent moon, light mode, and sun in dark mode, using only box shadows, and then when clicked, animating between the two. Hint, use inset drop shadow to make the crescent moon, and the sun should use, that's not drop shadow, it should use box shadow, and the sun should use box shadow to make dots circling it. So the key is using only box shadow, make the icons. Maybe that's the magic line. There's one line at the end. Okay, that was the entire prompt. You said use my prompt, I pasted it, it all worked. Okay. All right, bub. I'm even gonna go in here. We're just gonna go delete. We're gonna go delete. Do everything. Let's see how Mr. One Shot performs here. It amazes me how people interesting to be so positive on A and blatantly overlook the huge negatives. Yeah. Oh, is this your brilliant one shot? It one-shotted it, Kevin. It one-shotted it. I'm sure it did. Yeah, it definitely did. What is this? Nothing. Nada. Not even close. Not even close. All right, I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to build this. I am on a mission to make, I'm not going to build it on, we're going to kill the stream because I can't take any more, frankly. I've got to go get some lunch and alcohol. You understand I got to go coach 13, 12-year-old girls later today? Like, I'm already cooked. I'm already cooked. I'm gonna have to apologize to him ahead of time. Look, Claude cooked me earlier today. Whatever I say, I apologize ahead of time, okay? I might be a little more, might be a little more aggressive with the coaching, you know? You make a little mistake, hey, we'll blame it on Claude, taking away all my patience today. Yeah, all right. I just wanted to prove to Delulu, he actually is, I think his name was Dulu. He's a little Delulu in terms of his one-shot ability. You forgot to add make no mistakes. Okay. But I am going to fucking build this thing, and it is going to work, and it is going to be beautiful, and it's going to work perfectly, and then I'm going to share it with you. And you're not going to have to go through any of this nonsense. It's just going to be a nice little shareable component inside of Etch, but it is going to happen. It is absolutely, without a doubt, going to happen. Okay, let's do hashtag Q. Okay, are there plans to have fold, unfold on section containers, etc. in the structure panel? Fold, unfold, fold, unfold. We already have fold, unfold. I don't know what you mean. So let me go, let's go to patterns, you know? Let's go grab a little pattern. We have search now, by the way. I added a little search. Let's go into hero. There's Hero Catalina. Let's go. Yeah, I've liked a little fizzy lately. Let's get our fizzy on. Okay, here is fizzy. But yeah, I mean, you can fold, you can unfold. You know, you got all this ability. We got this global one up here to do them all at once. Like if you had a bunch of fizzies, you can fold, unfold all of them. That's already there. I bet you the AI in Etch is going to be a lot better. It's already going to have all of our rules and all of our wants and needs and desires programmed into it, I think. Let's see. No, the effects animation is not available in beta 1. It's probably going to be in beta 2. How do you get to create layout page as you did in featured flexible card? Iverson, as much as I want to know what you're asking right now, I have no clue what you're talking about. How do you get to create layout page as you did in featured flexible card? I don't know if I'm having a stroke, Iverson, or maybe I am. I could very well be. Somebody monitor the situation. If I fall out, you know, get the authorities on the line. But I'm reading that, and I can't for the life. I read it very slow, and I can't for the life of me understand what it's saying. In WDD Live 113, you were creating a layout using an external post type area in Content Hub that we don't see in Etch. You said to ask about it during the next WDD. You're creating a layout using an external post type area in Content Hub. External post type. What is an external post type? Content Hub. So right now, no post types. Okay. This is my post type. Boom, right there. Okay, it's there. Now you can also go to ACF, create a post type, and but it's going to show up right here too. Now I believe in that demo, I created it with ACF, but I don't know. I can't remember. I do a gazillion demos. I don't know. People actually ping me and they'll be like, do you remember at 11 minutes and 38 seconds and WDD Live number 48 where you did, and then they'll just ask me some question about it. I'm like, dog, I couldn't possibly, you know more about that live stream than I do actually, because you just watched it. I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. They think I just like can recall this stuff in my mind, like what happened on a rando stream at like the 11-minute mark. I'm not superhuman. Clearly, as you can see by, you know, this box shadow moon sun effect. Okay, what if, okay, I already answered that. I would like the dark version to always load by default. The browser and system always follow the dark. At the same time, the user have option to manually switch to the light. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. In that case, what you would want to do is you would want to go into color scheme at the very beginning of your project. Let me think about this. Yeah. And you would set it to dark only, save it, build the website all dark, and then you would switch it to light dark. And then it would be able to switch back and forth. But you would be building it essentially in, the approach I take, and I'm pretty sure this is the best method. It's been a while since I've done it, is to lock the scheme to what you want it to be. Like that's the default, and then build the site. But I haven't done that since we switched to all the new scheme syntaxes and everything. So why don't you do that and let me know how it works out for you? I mean, your other option is always to lock it to light scheme, use all dark colors for everything, and then you're also still good to go. So you might be able to do it either way. All right. So somebody wanted an example of unified palette. So let's do this. Let's go, by the way, you can right click, you can create pattern now, and you can save your pattern, right, to the pattern library. This is actually saving it to the default WordPress pattern library for the block system. And then you can recall it from right here. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet, pretty sweet. We'll do something, maybe Claude can redeem itself here. Let's go here and let's just tell it to give us a sample color scheme for the site. So let's go, all right, let me get rid of this one. Like, holy smokes, unbelievable. The windows, the apps, okay. Give me an example color scheme, anything you'd like. But the color names are primary, secondary, accent, base, and that's it, okay? And then just give me the hex codes for those colors that you choose. Let's just get some hexes. All right, look at that. It didn't shit itself. Amazing. Okay, let's go back. We can get rid of the pattern site. We can get rid of this, and let's just configure real quick in ACSS. So we're gonna go into palette. We're gonna go into primary. We're gonna drop in that color. Well, that was very close. Actually, I wanna turn off unified lightness, okay? And let's just save. Let's just save with unified lightness off. All right. And let's clear this out. Let's reset it. Did it really like give me, let me choose a wildly different color. Did it really give me a color that was like very close to what I was already using? It did, it did. Okay, let's go to secondary. Okay, and we'll turn on secondary and we'll drop that in there. And that's like a greeny color. Now, I wonder what the lightness of these is by default. Is this accent? Yeah, accent and then base. So let's turn on accent and pop that in. That's like a peachy color. I wonder if it kind of unified the lightness. Base, okay. So in base, gives me that. Okay, let's save. Let's just check our lightness here. So 45, 67, 69. Those two are pretty close, okay? And then 96 for the base. Okay, so now let's deploy some of these. We actually don't need Hero Fizzy for this. Let's go with a box. Let's make a little grid. Ooh, did you guys know you could loop like this? How many colors do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 colors essentially. So watch this. We're gonna go wrap and loop, and we're just gonna replace posts with an array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna give us 5 items. I'm just gonna call this swatch, and we're gonna give the background of BG. Fantastic. Okay, let's think of how we want to do this. So I'll just do nth child, I guess. So we'll just do nth child of 1, and we'll say BG is primary. And then we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change this to 2, 3, 4, 5. Go swatch list. Go grid 5. And then go inline size of, actually, we don't even need that. Let's go block size of 300 pixels. Aspect ratio of 1. Actually, we can just do, we don't even, I think if you just do inline size 100%, it should work out just fine. Okay. Secondary, accent, base, neutral, slam dunk. Look at that. Okay. Now we go automatically responsive. Okay. So what we're going to do, hold on. I could show you maybe both. Oh, hang on. Let's duplicate our loop. Hold on. Why are these coming up blank? Why is our duplicate blank? Our duplicate should be a duplicate. Swatch list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let's do duplicate our swatch. There we go. Okay. All right. Fantastic. I need to lock these. Background. Think about this. How are we going to do it? Relative color syntax. Where would it go? Background here. OKLCH. From, yes. OKLCH. From BG. From BG. From BG, LCH1. Lightness. Okay. I might have to do this backwards. I'm going to lock the lightness here. Okay. I got it. Okay. Swatch. This is going to be swatch list unified. Swatch list. How do I want to do this? Let's go data unified equals true. Swatch list. Right here. Data unified equals true. Me. Background from BG 0.65 or 75 or 85 or 55 or 45 or it's whatever you want to do. But here is essentially how that works. I'm not going to turn it on because we're just trying to get a visual representation. But this locks, this is the colors. Okay. So swatch list unified is the bottom one. So this is when the lightness value is locked. You see that all the colors become much more uniform, right? Their perceived brightness is essentially equal. Let me go back to chat so we can see in chat. Okay, make sure that we're unconfused. Okay, so now what you would do in the dashboard with this unified lightness value is you would just tweak it to whatever you want the look to be across all of your colors. But see, this blue went down and became a little bit more paley. This green got darker. This peach got darker. This base completely flipped itself. and this neutral went to here. But we don't manipulate the neutrals. We just let the neutrals be neutrals in the unified lightness system. But if you go to 0.6, 0.7, so you could make your whole site brighter. This is literally like giving you control over the entire brightness of your website or the darkness of your website. Like look what would happen if you wanted to go, ultra dark with those colors, right? They all update, they all adjust. Whereas if you were making one-off adjustments, not only would you have to go color by color by color, but you would probably end up with a lot of inconsistency. So this unification of lightness just makes this really, really easy. And I mean, you've got every like decimal in between, like 1, 2, 3, 4 to really, really dial this in. Like this is a lot nicer down here because this is way darker than these two colors. So this blue isn't really meshing with this green and peach very well. But here they all work together. And there's gonna be docs on all this stuff. Right in there, where you at? There was a tab below pages that external layout in the layout hub. Oh, I mean, this is the templates area. Anything that you register in there is going to show up there. I don't know though. There might have been that might have been an old version that showed the external. It showed the difference between custom post types created in Etch versus in an external tool. That might be what you're talking about. I think that's all been unified. I don't think it does that anymore. Change the colors in ACSS now. What do you mean change them? Like choose a different one? Yeah, so I just choose a rando color. The unified version keeps me in the bounds of my palette, where up here it just let me go willy-nilly and create this crazy color. So this is the unified palette, this is the ununified palette. And it makes, if I want to just go switch up the colors to anything, it's going to, see, it's locking the bottom one. It's like, dog, you're getting crazy. You're going crazy, right? But I shift this. Anything I choose now is going to work much better with my existing colors. I don't know what just happened there. Whoa, we went out of control with it. This looks like a caching issue of some sort. I don't think I can clear the cache on zip either. Div. Yeah, this is a CSS caching issue. I wonder if we can get it to snap back into action. There we go. Now it's back. Okay, let's go back to yeah, now it's back. So see, I chose a blue that was clearly too dark, and it was like, it shouldn't be that dark based on the rest of your palette there, bud. And it just saves you. It makes life real, especially if you're not a designer. Just makes life way easier. And I can turn this on to force it to happen. And now the top row is unified, but it's using the actual ACSS value. So you can do 0.6, whatever. Choose a different. That might be a bug right there. Because yeah, when you're unifying the lightness, you're not allowed to make the color adjustments. So you may have to undo it and then reset it back. And then we're getting the cache error. I think what's happening is it's looking for the CSS before it actually refreshes on the back end. And then it sticks this version in the cache. I've seen this happen before. And okay, it does not like it when it's that primary. Let's see if we can get this to reset. See if we can pin down exactly what's happening. It's something to do with the primary color, because as soon as I turn primary off, it's, no, actually it's not. All right, we're gonna have to look into what's going on there. The CSS, I guarantee you if I look for the style sheet, it's broken. Oh, it's not even loading. Something's causing it to not even load. When I turn this off, now I go to inspect. Now it's back. So there's something just causing the entire style sheet to not load that it doesn't like. Tertiary. Oh, I'm not even using a tertiary color. Let's turn off accent. Turn off base. Let's unify lightness. Neutral. This is where I have to go check the logs, because it could be reporting an error that it's not reporting on the front end. There we go. Then it snaps back into action. Okay. And unified lightness is on. Turn it off. Still alive. Enable secondary. Still alive. Unify it. Still alive. So this is I still feel like it's a caching issue of some sort. I think when there's times where the style sheet tries to regenerate and the page refreshes before the style sheet regenerates. And then on an aggressive cache, as soon as it loads without a style sheet, it caches that version. And then you try to refresh, and it's trying to refresh, but there's no, it's giving you a version with no style sheet. And because it never happens on local, it's only on very aggressive caching. So I need to figure out if there's a way that we can bust that better. Pretty sure that's what's happening. Because when I go to find the style sheet in those times it's broken, it doesn't even exist. And I think that's what's happening. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I am going to build that color scheme component. I am going to share it with you once it's built. I will come back on the next stream and say, hey, here's how it actually came together. I'll show you the methodology behind it. Of course, you could always just, if you have that, you could just paste it in once it's ready and then inspect it, take a look at it. But I think once I get it working, you guys are gonna be like, that's a dope color scheme switch. I'm rocking that one because it's a good switch. So it's just gonna take some engineering. But I'm gonna go get some lunch. I'm gonna try to get all the animation stuff that I've been building in ACSS, all that whole new library. I'm gonna try to get that finalized this week. I would expect to see it in beta 2 next week. And then I want your feedback, because we've never done anything with animation or effects. I want you guys to use it a little bit, play around with it. Let me know if anything's missing. Let me know if you're trying to do something and you're not able to do it. There are gonna be limitations. It's not like it can do everything that a full GSAP library can do, because it's not GSAP. It has no dependencies. It's 100% vanilla CSS, with one tiny exception that I'll explain. With it, there's entrance animations actually can't be done at all without an intersection observer. So there's going to be one little tiny snippet of JS. It's like 1 KB or some nonsense, right? But I'm going to need you guys to use it, play around with it, experiment with it, and then give feedback for it to make its way into RC. And then eventually, like, that's pretty much the only thing left, other than some slight internal refactorings that are needed for 1.0 or 4.0 official. So We got to get ACSS out of beta into RC, and then 4.0 official. And then we have Etch 1.0 official, ACSS 4.0 official, and then we're rocking and rolling. Then we're cooking with gas, okay? So I'm gonna need you guys. I can't do it all on my own. You're gonna have to play around with this animation library and let me know if it's good to go, all right? But I'll see you guys again very soon, next Tuesday. There may be another stream this week, we'll see if I can get my patience back, because I have something else planned as well. So keep an eye out. Peace.